Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So we're now on Pythagoras Theorem, which I think all of us pretty much know. Mostly you should remember it from school, but if you don't, that's what we're here for. So let's get started. All right angle triangles have a property in common that is expressed in Pythagoras' theorem. The square on the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides. So I didn't really understand this. This is not how I learned it, but let me show you probably the best picture to help you understand this. Okay, so here's how to understand it. So the square on your hypotenuse, which is this square here, of a right angle triangle is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides. So this C here is equal to this B square plus this A square. Why they're squares? Because obviously if you take this line here and then you convert it into a square, you get that. You take this A line here, convert it into a square, you get that. Take this C, the hypotenuse, turn it into a square, you get that. This is the ideal way for remembering Pythagoras' theorem. I didn't learn it like that, but I find it absolutely fascinating. Cool. So in figure here, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So notice how the letter for each side corresponds to the opposite angle. Right, so you've got angle A, and across from it is the side A. You got angle B, and across from it is the side B, and you got angle C, and across from it, opposite to it, is the side C. So they just say here that this is common convention. So something to keep in mind, yeah. So if a right angle triangle has a hypotenuse of length 8, so if that's 8, and one other side of the length is 3, right? The length of the third side to 3 decimal places is, so let's work it out. So remember, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Now we know that C is 8, and we know that one of the other sides is 3. So 3 plus, let's say, x, 3 squared plus x squared equals 8 squared. So what we can do is we can square 3 to make it 9 squared plus x squared. Sorry, not to make it 9 squared, to make it 9. 9 plus x squared equals 64, right? So then we can just take x squared is equal to 64 minus 9, correct? And then we've got x squared is equal to 64 minus 9, which is 55. So x squared is equal to the square root of 55. So x is equal to 7.416, and they wanted it to 3 decimal places, so we'll leave it as that. Done. 7.416. We were correct. Cool. So because if A represents the length of the third side, so this is them just explaining it now. A squared plus 3 squared equals 8 squared. So A squared is equal to 64 minus 9, which is equal to 55. A then is the square root of 55. So 7.416. Here's another. Here's a triangle with sides 7, 24, and 25, a right angle triangle. So this should be super easy to do. So we're going to do 25, right, squared equals to 24 squared plus 7 squared, right? So because obviously C is going to be the largest one, and then A and B are going to be the other two. And then so if this equation checks out, if 25 squared does indeed equal 24 squared plus 7 squared, then we know that this triangle here is a right angle triangle. If it doesn't equal that, then we know that it's not a right angle triangle. 25 squared is 625. 24 squared is 576. And 7 squared is 49. So 49 plus 576 equals 625. So 625 equals 625, which is correct. It checks out of Pythagoras' theorem. So therefore, this triangle is a right angle triangle. And the answer is yes, it is a right angle triangle. So we got that correct. So because squaring the lengths, and it just explains it here, which is what we just went through, that's fine. So the sum of the squares of the lengths of the two smaller sides is equal to the square on the longer side. Because the length satisfies Pythagoras' theorem, the triangle is right angled. Yep, that's fine. We got that. How about the triangle with sides 5, 11, 12? Is this right angled? So let's do the same again. 12 equals 11. So 12 squared equals 11 squared plus 5 squared. I mean, you shouldn't need a calculator for this one. 144 equals, just do it on here for you, 121 plus 5 squared, 25. So 144 is equal to 146. So they are not equal, right? Therefore, this triangle cannot be a right angle as it doesn't meet Pythagoras theorem. And as you can see there, the answer is no. And then they explain that. Alright, so I shall see you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed this one, give it a like. As I've said, things are starting to get interesting now, aren't they? I'll see you in the next one. Peace.